Shop floor data capture is an integrated module that sits directly inside of Sage 200. It connects to an app on a Windows device or an Android device in order to allow your staff, either from the production area or perhaps from a project on site, to capture labour time. Additionally, in a production area, it can also capture things like inspection and the progression of that job, as well as being able to issue additional stock items. So as you can see, I've generated a works order in Sicon works order processing. And essentially all we're doing is we're pulling through the operations against the Sage bill of materials. Alongside those, we've set up in the background a series of configurable questions. Now, these can be a question with a simple yes or no answer. They could be the ability to grab attachments, upload a photo. You've also got the ability to make these as mandatory as well. It also populates through the estimated labour time that's required, which will then feed through onto the shop floor data capture app. So the app sits on a tablet, or you could have this residing on a monitor in your different production areas. Each one of your members of staff has their own unique ID, which identifies them and their specific labour cost rate and potentially pay rate. So this is about eliminating the need for your staff to have to manually update the works orders, bring you bits of paper with labour timesheets. So all I'm going to do is I'm going to log in, and it will then present me with the works orders. I can obviously search for the works orders in the screen at the top, or I can make my way down through the list. So I've got the works order number, I've got the item that I'm finishing and manufacturing, and the date, and the total amount of time that's been presented for me to manufacture this item. When I clock on, I've got some further information that gives me more details about that specific works order. So we have the number of operations, the estimated number of hours, have we started this yet and what's been completed, the start date, the due date, and then potentially any additional comments. So if we come to our operations, I'm presented with the operations that I need to clock onto, and then it's simply a case of start. So this is now going to capture my time that I'm working on this particular works order. I can add some additional notes. As you'll see, I can stop and pause it. And we've got some different configurable reasons as to why I'm pausing it. It could be that there's a machine fault. It could be that I'm pausing to go for lunch or a break. So at this point, I'm going to say how many have I manufactured, and I'm stop and pausing it. I'm breaking for lunch, and this is where I'm now presented with the inspection questions. So very simply, fill in the questions, mark it as passed, confirm, and as I said, these can be made as mandatory. Additionally, I can come to the materials and I can search for a material if I wanted to. So I can say, well, actually, I want to add on an additional item in here. We can then search for the item. We then have the ability to say, which warehouse am I taking this from? And you can see it shows me how much of that stock is already allocated and how much is actually still available. The bin location that I'm taking that from, and then the reason. So this can force me to put in a reason, which again is completely configurable as to why I'm needing to add on additional stock, again, along with some comments in here. We add that, and that will then automatically update the works order for me. So if we now come back into the works order, you'll see that we've completed that operation. So from a progression perspective, I don't need to be chasing around the shop floor to find out where this works order is. I could be speaking to any member of staff or indeed a customer to update them accordingly whilst I'm on the phone. We can see the labour time that's been captured. So you can see that I've clocked on with the amount of quantity that I've manufactured and the actual time. So this gives you that capacity to capture your actual cost of production. And of course, then be able to update your bill of materials for any future builds if it does transpire that you're actually taking a lot longer than you thought, and you're costing your works orders accordingly. And we can also see that Sarah has issued an additional component with, again, what's been changed and the increase. So in summary, shop floor data capture has given me the ability to accurately cost to include my actual labour time. It can also capture machine time as well if you want it to, as well as updating the progression of the job, capturing an inspection process, and adding on additional components where used. Any further information, please refer through to our help and user guides or have a chat with your Sage business partner.